Le majazi lukhawuli ukubona kuna inkosi yeluhlanga akhansela mina na inkosi yeluhlanga lesendela kona ngasathi nokuthi uNkulunkulu wethu siyawuthini emazulwini ngekuyithanza na ukusinakekela kwayo lapho bethela bemukela emabhandi imibhenso lemihle inemathoshi okusho ukuthi njeke nasi semsebenzini leminye lefaka busuku asethuba nenkingi sesawukhanyisa nje kalula sisebenza umsebenzi wenkosi etabe sithume wona kunemikha ekhathi umkhalo ogcina sibili okusho nje lo nyaka imfa abantu noma ingathini sayingenela kuyivuna awu nayita ubona ukuthi awusuka futhi bese siyivuna into apha ngisesabe ngoba bese siyivuna ngetikhale eqhamuka kumnikati itase saba mbamba ngiyabona itase saba lo faka ekhathi nesikhwama sokubeka luqingo nemali okusho ukuthi njenyalo nangabuka liqinisa awu athatha mancane lathi ngilahlekele ndvuna memete emkhunjini ngilahlekele ngoba phela imali sesikhwameni uqingo lusesikhwameni angicabanga ukuthi lokunele ungashe kulahleke ngalendlela njeke le izindlela engayingwenyama.
Emajaha continued 19 safety protocols as revealed by Indvuna Mncina.
Ithi-ke ngithi ndvuna nakani emabutho ageze tandla agqoke nama ivala impumulo emabutho atowubona kimi ukuthi vele ingubo ufuna ithini ngiyacabanga ukuthi solo nifikile emajani lapha solo niyabona ngiyangiva ngiyakhuluma hambani lo sashingile esamukelo kwa ingwenyama hambani toshaya umoya esonqeni.
On the news, I am Sandile Makhanya reporting with Zwele Masuku at Ngabezweni Royal Residence.
The Acting Minister of Information, Communication and Technology, Mancoba Khumalo, says the ministry will distribute 810 laptops to different schools around the country to maximize access to technology amongst pupils. The minister was speaking when tabling the ministry's 2020-2021 performance report before the Portfolio Committee in the House of Assembly. Our reporter Nelson Ndlangamandla has more on that story.
Of Information, Communication and Technology's 2020-2021 performance report, the acting minister Mancoba Khumalo says Eswatini Communication Commission provided 810 laptops for schools to promote ICT. The minister states that the laptops will be distributed to different schools, each getting 45 of them, including chargers. The minister says in an effort to increase the usage of the internet, the ministry has installed wide area network connectivity in 135 health facilities, 49 Tinkunda centers, and 17 veterinary offices.
We've also secured funding from ECOM for the development of the access to information and protection of. Also, the Eswatini National Library Services has managed to make the electronic resources available online, a very crucial step towards providing resources for the One Gadget Per Child initiative. Another initiative is Eswatini National Archives implemented the EDRMS in the Ministry of Economic Planning and Finance. Fundamentally, that is our document management system, electronic document management system. Eswatini Television Authority has completed a comprehensive proposal for the introduction of the educational channel for the benefit of the less privileged students in the country. And lastly, the signing of the MOU between the Government of the Kingdom of Eswatini and the Republic of South Africa on scientific and technological cooperation.
Making their submissions about the report, members of parliament said they appreciate the hard work done by the ministry despite the COVID-19 pandemic. They expressed their concerns on some projects that were delayed because of COVID-19. They further urged the minister to work closely with the Eswatini Post and Telecommunications to address its challenges. At the time of compiling this report, the minister had not responded to the committee's questions and concerns. Reporting for Eswatini TV, I'm Nelson Ndlangamandla with Bawethu Stole at Lobamba.
The Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology has tabled 5 bills in Parliament, which it says, if approved, the sector will achieve its vision. This was said by the Acting Minister Mancoba Khumalo when tabling the 2020-2021 performance report before the Portfolio Committee in Parliament.
Acting Minister of Information, Communication and Technology, Mangoba Khumalo, gives details about the bills that have been tabled in Parliament.
I'm happy to report the good progress of having the Cabinet approval on the following cybersecurity bill, or rather cybercrime bill, which gives legal definitions to computer systems and legal activities carried out on or using them, and further differentiating between legal and illegal cyber activities and the sanctions applicable thereto. Number 2, data protection bill defines the framework for data collection, use, storage, and disposal. Number 3, electronic transactions bill to legalize transactions and contracts carried out over digital platforms. Number 4, Eswatini National Archives and Record Services Bill to repeal the Archives Act of 1971, Act number 5, to make it more comprehensive and aligned with recent developments in archival science and international standards. Number 6, National Research Council Bill of 2020, to regulate and mobilize resources for the science, technology and innovation activities.
The minister says the ministry is working on policies and regulations meant to synchronize current legislation in response to industry trends and ongoing innovations under the information and technology sector. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Nelson Ndlangamandla with Bawethu's Tolet Lobamba.
The Portfolio Committee of the Ministry of Education and Training in the House of Assembly has asked the Minister, Lady Howard, to declare the challenges faced by the ministry on the reopening of schools for the 2021 calendar. The committee today debated the ministry's performance report for the financial year 2020-2021.
When appearing before the Ministry's Portfolio Committee in the House of Assembly, the Minister for Education and Training, Lady Howard, informed the committee that despite the challenges posed by COVID-19, they are grateful that external examinations were rolled successfully. However, the Minister was not clear on the actual date of the reopening of schools in the country in 2021.
Finally, as the ministry continues to implement the school reopening plan, it was greatly dismantled by the emergence of the second wave of the pandemic. Nevertheless, we hope to receive support and guidance from the Honorable House to give our children a chance in life by ensuring that there is learning, progression, and completion in the education system even during this difficult time. Consequently, this will ensure that the country is supplied with a competent workforce that will contribute towards economic growth and improved standard of living for the people.
The legislators spoke on one voice that the budget would not be passed until the minister gives Parliament a tentative date of the reopening of schools.
Angiva mne minister ukuthi uthayipase iyephi ngoba akucaci letikolo sitawuvula nini manje ezikunethu tinenge kumele tendeka asinake lokuthi lokhu sekucabanisa babatali nabo thishela sewungathi badla imali yelive mahala kanti akusiko lokho phela bothishela bonke bafuna kuvangela itiko ukuthi kubhekwapi
indvuna ibe ngumntwana wesikole indvuna ibe nguthishela indvuna ibe ngumtali indvuna yaba ngu-head teacher indvuna yaba ngu-taxpayer ngifuna ukuthi-ke Chairman indvuna kule sitolekiso ayingabonakali ungathi i-representa abo-head teacher maningi ama-stakeholders la involved kuleli sombo laka-education.
Sekuyavulwa kwetikolo bathethwe abantwana njengoba bathethwe kuyayiwa esikolweni le social distancing itawuba khona yini.
The minister was asked to adhere to a resolution taken by the House of Assembly to stop the registration of children in schools and also bring a detailed report to the House on the proposed plan for reopening of schools for the school calendar of 2021. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Tinkule in Parliament.
The Minister of Health, TINKUNZI, led by example and took a jab of the AstraZeneca vaccine at Mbabane Government Hospital. The minister says by taking the vaccine, she wants to assure Eswatini that it is safe following growing concerns from the public that some countries rejected it after citing side effects and that it is less effective.
The Minister of Health, TINKUNZI, says the AstraZeneca vaccine is safe since it has been approved by the World Health Organization. She says at the moment they have taken a vial which is supposed to be used by 10 people.
Si testa le system yokujova leyokugoma yokukomela i-COVID-19.
The minister explains that they could have looked for volunteers but felt officials from the ministry, including herself, should take the vaccine to see firsthand all the processes involved before and after a person has taken the vaccine. She further states that she is aware of the concerns from the public following reports that the vaccine has side effects. However, she says no study has proved that they are related to the vaccine. The minister says the World Health Organization is still doing its investigation. The minister says they are yet to launch the rollout of the vaccine. Government has set aside 200 million emalangeni for the procurement of the vaccine. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Nelson Dlangamandla with Muzim Konda in Babane.
And now in a statement from the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Ministry of Home Affairs wishes to inform members of the public that the Manzini Regional Service Center is temporarily closed for emergency refurbishment purposes. In a press statement, the Principal Secretary in Nhlanhla urges Eswatini to use nearest service centers for any form of assistance which was being provided at the service center. The Principal Secretary says the ministry regrets any inconvenience caused by the closure of the offices and asks for patience from the public as they refurbish the offices to give better services. He says the public can call the number 7606-3938, 7606-3938 for any assistance. Now, staying with the High Court, Tata Ngubane, who is an accomplice witness in the Victor Kametse murder case, was in the High Court for the first time since his arrival in the country in December last year. Ngubane later left before testifying as the Crown led evidence from a South African forensic expert. Ngubane is an accomplice witness believed to have been one of the two suspects who were hired from South Africa to murder the late Kametse.
On Wednesday, the Crown submitted to the court that it was ready to proceed with parading witnesses in the SIPHO murder trial. Defense counsel told the court that it was not aware that the Crown would parade witnesses. However, it understood that the court would hear the Crown's remote participation application. The defense argued that it could not allow the Crown to proceed with parading witnesses while the remote participation application was still pending. The Crown counter-argued that it no longer needed Tata Ngubane to testify through audio-visual link as he was now in the country. The Crown submitted that the defense insisted on the AVL application proceeding because it feared Ngubane's testimony. The court adjourned for a few minutes, whereafter Judge Nkosinathi Masego ordered that the Crown should continue parading witnesses because there was no need to have Ngubane testify through AVL as he was now in the kingdom. The defense prayed to the court to adjourn the matter to look into the evidence to be brought before court because it was not prepared for the witnesses to be paraded, adding that lead counsel Advocate Lawrence Holders was also not present. The court was quick to point out to the court that Advocate Holders was not in court because he had not been paid and had informed it that he would not come to court unless he was paid. The court then adjourned the matter for about 3 hours for the defense to prepare for the matter to proceed. When court resumed, the Crown called to the stand Captain Bongiwe Xotsa, a forensics expert from the South African Police Service. Xotsa took the court through video footage captured at the Ngwenya border gate, Gulf filling station and Spy Zulwini, which are believed to be connected to the death of Victor Kametse. Xotsa told the court that from the footage, she made a photo album for facial comparison purposes. At the time of compiling this report, the defense was still cross-examining Xotsa's testimony. In the matter, the Crown was represented by Advocate Michael Helens, Absalom Makanya, and Macebo Nxumalo. Shongwe, on the other hand, was represented by Peggy Howe and Benjay Simelane. The matter is expected to proceed tomorrow, being Thursday, in the High Court. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosi Mavimbela, High Court.
Tourists who visited the Kingdom of Eswatini between January and February 2021 are slightly over 29,000. According to Eswatini Tourism Authority's marketing manager, Siboniso Madlopa, numbers of tourists who visit the country have massively decreased when comparing with the previous years due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our reporter, Sontom Langeni, has more on that story.
If it had not been for the COVID-19 restrictions around the world, tourists would be flocking into the kingdom to enjoy the warm weather and the festivities such as Bukano ceremony. Speaking in an exclusive interview, Eswatini Tourism Authority's marketing manager, Siboniso Madlopa, says there are a number of challenges faced by the tourism sector in Eswatini, such as the fact that flights that travel via South Africa are banned in other countries, as this is crippling the sector as most tourists enter the kingdom via South Africa.
Nasibuka lokho ukuthi kusena lemicabo yokuthi na ungena lakithi kufuna vele lena lebhekekile ke nasesiyisekela kule micabo yokuthi na ungena lakithi ufuna ube nato le kusena lemicabo yokuthi na ungena lakithi kufuna vele lena lebhekekile ke nasesiyisekela kule micabo yokuthi na ungena lakithi ufuna ube nato le certificate lesithi phela udeligcone le COVID lo yayikhanze ukuthi sekuyi added expense kokuthi umuntu akasuka ekhaya seyi expire kufuna nakafika eborder aphinze test nama nakafika la kangwane aphinze test so ngilethe into info lokhanza ukuthi this limit.
Madlopa says the 29,000 of tourists who visited the kingdom, 24,000 of them come from the SADC region, 112 of them come from Northern and Southern America, 26 from Middle East, and 605 from Asia, and 330 from Europe. For Eswatini TV News, Sontom Langeni in Babane.
Director of Agriculture Nelson Mavuso is encouraging farmers to start using greenhouses. Mavuso was speaking after a farmer from Hluti shared his greenhouse on Facebook.
Following pictures of Sihlutse farmers which were posted in one of the Facebook pages where the farmers are encouraging each other to practice greenhouse farming, the Minister of Agriculture, Director Nelson Mavuso, encourages the farmers on exploring greenhouse farming. However, Mavuso said it is important for the farmers to have knowledge about this type of farming. The government has set up agricultural grants for Emaswati who want to start agricultural business. The funds include Inhlanyelo Funds, Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund. The Minister of Agriculture encourages farmers to use greenhouse farming to boost production.
Let's ensure against loss in crop. Which is 70 technologies that are available. It's one of those technologies.
Other technology ways of farming include hydroponics, where plants are grown without using soil but sawdust, where irrigation are mixed with nutrients which are needed by the crops, which results in good yields. Reporting for Eswatini TV, I'm Linda Dlamini in Babane.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news making headlines in the world of sports. We begin with tennis. Secretary General in the Eswatini Tennis Association, Ngaba Mkhalipi, says when sporting activities resume in the country, they will be prioritizing on workshop for local tennis coaches and schools. Mkhalipi says this will be in line with the association's agenda to ensure that tennis coaches in the country are at international standard. Mkhalipi highlighted this when speaking to Eswatini TV Sports in Babane.
Eswatini Tennis Association is looking to capacitate different local tennis coaches when sporting activities resume in the country. According to the association's Secretary General Ngaba Mkhalipi, this will be one of the things they will be prioritizing when sporting activities resume. Mkhalipi adds that they will be engaging schools and get new coaches who will then produce development programs for the sport.
bayofundisa esikolweni.
Other issues highlighted by Mkhaliphi is of the tennis players who will also be attending online courses to improve their standard in the sport. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
Mbabane Swallows veteran player Wanda Nhleko says the person who will be elected as new president for the National Football Association will have the biggest responsibility of ensuring that the country does produce players who are able to play for international clubs. The 39-year-old who believes this will have a positive impact on the national team, Sihlangu Samnikati. Nhleko was speaking to Eswatini TV Sports in Mbabane.
Swallows veteran Wanda Nhleko believes the country has failed in recent years to produce players for the international standard. Having played for clubs like Black Leopards and Platinum Stars in the Republic of South Africa, the 39-year-old believes this will serve as the biggest responsibility for the man to take office as new president of the National Football Association when elections take place this year.
Ngicabanga ukuthi umsebenzi walotawuthatha utaba mkhulu kakhulu because
Nhleko highlights that local football needs a change where development will be the key. Through development, the country will be able to produce international players. At the same time, Sihlangu Samnikati will benefit.
Person lotawufila le gap leyo, he needs to work hard. It's like as a Maswati, I know what I do is going somewhere.
The veteran who has been in the Premier League for the last 20 years says that he feels fit to play club football at least for the next 5 years.
Okay, fine. When I felt like
Nhleko says that he feels fit and healthy to progress. Another thing that he believes has pushed him to play this far is the talent he possesses and the love he has for the sport.
So like now and then.
Nhleko concluded urging young players to stay committed to the sport if they are to achieve a lot in football. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera with Linda Dlamini, Mbabane.
Well, Eswatini, that brings us to the end of our news bulletin at 8 here at Eswatini TV. But before we conclude, here's a quick recap of our news making headlines tonight. His Majesty King Mswati III has presented regiments with gifts. The Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology will distribute 810 laptops to different schools around the country to maximize access to technology amongst pupils. And the Minister of Health, TINKUNZI, led by example and took a jab of the AstraZeneca vaccine at Mbabane Government Hospital. Well, Eswatini, that brings us to the end of our news bulletin at 8 here at Eswatini TV. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. We shall cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the rest of the transmission crew here at Eswatini TV. For now, it's good night and God bless.
We're going even lower than we have before. In every island, every store, prices smashing through the floor. Smashing through the floor. It's the low.
It's our lowest prices ever. Get Lifebuoy soap, buy any 3 for a low 27 emalangeni, and Shield Roll-On deodorant, any 2 for a low 30 emalangeni. It's the Spa Lower Than Low sale. Now on.